So what's the year of this car that we're gonna go look at?
So it's 1983 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce.
Nice. What engine does it have in it?
It's got your typical 4-cylinder 2000 cc's.
Oh, is that what they all had?
Yeah, from 19. I think this body style they modified in like 82 or 81.
Oh, nice. And stick or automatic?
They're all stick. So I'm sure up and down 30th Avenue I will be burning a few clutches.
Yeah, you don't want to burn too many. Them things ain't cheap.
You know how to do clutches?
Yeah. I don't go underneath cars anymore, though. That's the problem. But that's a rear-wheel drive, right?
Yeah, it's rear wheel.
Traditional.
Yeah, traditional.
The engine faces front to back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is a soft top, so it's a convertible.
It's a soft top convertible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. What color is it?
Black. Exterior gray silver interior.
Nice. And
Yeah.
did he show you any pictures of the interior?
See, there's some parts that need to be. That's one of my concerns. It's just there's some parts in the trunk that everything's there, but it just needs to be put in place.
So, how much of a project are you willing to accept?
That's what I'm debating. Because if there's too many buttons, then it's too much of a project, right?
Yeah.
Try to put them in, they crack.
Why has it been parked so long? Or it hasn't been parked that long?
He hasn't. He said he's only had it for a year and a half or so. I don't know what these guys do. I don't know. Some of these guys, they want to sell them. They don't have the room. They buy them in March and sell them in August, September.
Yeah, I suppose.
Just for a summer.
But then it's sat though, right? He said he hasn't driven it.
He hasn't driven it. Last year he drove it. He said it drove last year. He said it runs a little rough, but no ticks or anything like that. He said he put in a new fuel tank. So
new or used?
He said no.
We'll be able to tell right away.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
Did he reply to you? Is he expecting us?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see it. So we know it runs rough. He doesn't know why it runs rough. He's probably assuming it needs spark plugs or something like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking a tune-up, something.
What year is it again? 81?
83.
83. Does that have electronic ignition or is it points?
I think it's got electronic ignition on it. Although, maybe not. Incorporated.
You could you could just look it up if you want, but I guess it doesn't matter. If it's got points, then, and it's been sitting, and maybe, the points get some corrosion on them under the cap. The car's been parked outside. He probably didn't prep it to park it outside, right? Has it been parked outside covered? Because that's
He said like no rust, so I don't know that it's covered outside. What else? It's got 130,000 miles on it.
When were the tires put on it? Is it going to be tires?
I asked him about that. He said they're decent tires. They're okay.
In other words, they're not flat.
Yeah, probably, maybe drive it for 50 miles. I'd probably put a new set on it anyway.
Well, I think you would want to.
Yeah,
Right?
not that I'm gonna take it out for the races, but
Everything I've ever purchased, I've always ended up
brakes
tires on it.
brakes and tires. I think that's a.
Yeah, what did he say about the brakes?
He said it breaks, but it does. The brakes need to be looked at.
It breaks, but they need to be looked at?
Yeah, the brakes are kind of, what did he say? Yeah, he said the brakes are, for around town, I guess it'd be okay. But I think for brakes and tires, that's a given. You don't want, you want to be able to stop and you want to be able to turn a corner. Right?
Yeah. What worries my big concern is, as long as the car stops, it's good. You got brakes, but it's for that unexpected. Somebody pulls out in front of you, and you got to slam on the brakes. You don't want to end up popping a line. So we want to make after you buy it, that's one of those things you might want to look at the condition of the brake lines and how rusty they are.
So and that's all factored into how much you pay for it.
And his asking price is?
It's $4,500.
Okay.
And another thing that it's got is a cracked windshield, upper left-hand corner.
Oh yeah.
So we kind of looked into that, and those are not cheap. Plus we'd have to find who would be able to do it.
Yeah, I think any of the glass companies can do it, but then I think you might have to get an installation kit, right? Like that rubber gasket that goes around some of those older Italian cars. I don't think it's like an American car where they take fish line and just cut it out, and then you just drop it into the pocket. Well, it could be that easy. I've never done a windshield, but
the other thing is that we kind of discussed is would someone install it if I buy the windshield?
Meaty Fleet Farm said, "We've got everything you need for canning at the best prices guaranteed. Stock up on jars, cookers, mixes, and more. Link to LTRK Company."
I have my messages coming through automatically, so I don't have to even touch the screen when I'm driving.
Will a glass company install it if I bring it?
Yeah, I don't think that's the problem. I think you're going to have to probably sign a waiver if they break it. That they're not responsible for it.
Yeah, but if I break it, I'm out a couple of grand.
Well, that's maybe why you're better off working with maybe instead of buying your own glass, just see. Plus those guys have suppliers, right?
Yeah.
They might know where to get this stuff. But I mean, that's the least of your concerns.
Well,
it doesn't look like it's a big hole in it or anything. It's just a crack over here.
Yeah, but you know that those things, as soon as you hit a bump,
it looks like it's already gone to length.
It's spreading.
Yeah.
So, I'm already thinking that this windshield is going to cost half of the price of the car.
It could be one of those things. I mean, just on an initial eBay search, it's a couple thousand. But you got to go to those websites where the Fiat enthusiasts or Alfa Romeo enthusiasts go. And is that windshield shared across any of the other cars?
As far as I know, it's just on the Spider.
Okay.
And it could be possibly just that, this model design. So.
Yeah, that's stuff you got to look into.
Yeah.
And you're thinking that broken windshield must be baked into his price too, right?
I'm thinking it just depends on how much is he baking in it. If he's baking $500, then we got a problem.
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And then, repainting, of course, is gonna, it's a 30-year-old paint job for sure. If it hasn't been repainted, it needs to be repainted. So, and that's another couple grand for sure.
Oh yeah, it'll be probably more closer to 3 or 4 these days to paint the car. Yeah, I mean, I guess it all depends on the kind of paint job you're looking for. I was talking to a guy last week at the car show at Petrified Springs, and he was saying he was one of those guys that was always afraid to touch paint and anything, and we talked for a while, and he's like, you know what? He goes, I do all my own painting now, him and his wife, and he goes, I was just a wrench, just a mechanical guy, never touched bodywork or anything, but he told me about this YouTube station called Paint Society, and as long as you got a compressor and you get yourself even a cheapo paint gun, you can do yourself a pretty good paint job. So I started looking at some of it. I might try my hand at it.
Just do something in the garage and close it off?
No, actually, they sell for $400. You can get a big booth, paint booth, a temporary paint booth. Just put it up in the backyard and drive the car in, and it's got all the fans and electrical, and it's $400.
Oh.
Yeah, and then when you're done, you just put it away. You got to get used to the the painting and the mixing the paint and
right.
doing all that. I don't know where this guy over here thinks he's going, but he maybe should go to Indianapolis. Yeah, Indianapolis might be a good place for this guy. You used to have one of those Gallants, didn't you?
No, not the Galant. It was the Diamante, was the bigger version of this. It's on that side.
There it is. Fiat.
Oh, there it is.
There it is, yeah. Oh, yeah. That'll be a nice project. Oh, he's got 2 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, he said...
Which one's the one for sale?
That's the first one. Is that another Alpha?
I don't know. I'm actually going the wrong way, dumbass. There we go. Wherever we go. There you go. Yeah. Lean into it. Lean in.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think my glasses make me look fat. Just kidding. Probably more than just my glasses. Anyways, okay, so we went to go look at that Alpha. On my hand, I everything that I saw on it, under the hood, everything was there.
Yeah.
And everything was there in the interior except the pieces were replaced, but replaced with the wrong color. And I'm going the wrong way here. I didn't realize that. Okay. Going the wrong way on a one-way
Yeah, there were definitely some pieces missing.
Yeah, I mean, the trunk,
interior.
for me, it was like all the frosting was kind of on it, right?
Yeah.
Like, opened up the trunk and the carpeting was there, and there was a battery and it was connected. He went to go start it. There was it wasn't like a big deal to start it. He just put the key in and started it. It's like, wow, on a 82, you said?
83.
On an 83, that was impressive.
Yeah.
So but again, it needs...
Top needed some work.
Yeah, the top
dash
needs
needed
work.
some work.
Dash, everything.
There were pieces missing on the dash.
There was. I'd have to dig into the details on the engine. There was a little bit of a vibration that I heard. How did
rust than I wanted to see?
Yeah, and I didn't look.
When he said no rust,
there
was definitely rust, and not just the surface rust that you saw.
But you actually saw holes.
Yeah, there's holes. There were holes in the rear.
Okay.
Passenger side. By the wheel. There was a hole. That's probably 2-inch hole.
So the car, in your assessment, if you were looking for something to, you have to admit everything was there.
Yeah,
everything was there.
Everything is there, but it's not something that I would consider driving as I'm working on it.
Yeah, because it would have been a little bit too much to.
Yeah.
Where I think 45. I think everything was there. I like the car.
Now he
but
said
not for 45.
Yeah, he said that you can get the windshield for a couple of bucks. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, well, I looked. I can't. I don't know where you'd get the windshield. But the crack wasn't bad. Like, I could drive the car around town with that crack.
Yeah, but how long is it going to stay that crack? Not very long if you keep driving it.
Well, it looks like it was already ended where it needed to end, right? It looks like...
Oh, it looked like it was...
Was it still travel?
Yeah,
Did it have
I was still
room to travel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it had the whole windshield to travel.
Okay, I thought it went from the top off to the side and then it ended.
No, I went up there. One came down and then the other one came this way.
So, okay, the windshield, okay.
Yeah,
it is what it is. It needs a windshield anyway.
It needs a windshield, it needs a top.
Definitely needs paint.
Definitely needs paint.
The paint doesn't make... Did I miss Wood Road? I feel like I've been driving too long.
Well, this is Southwood.
I missed 30th, or is that it up there? I think I missed Wood Road. Ah, damn it.
Where are you? Well,
no, maybe it's up here.
Wood Road is over here.
Yeah, all right.
That's what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah, too many things.
Yeah, it started right up.
Yep.
Overall,
like
it started and ran.
Shocks. It looks like the bottom. It looked when I tried to stand on, and that's a secret that I learned. I tried to stand on, when you get out of the car, you try to stand on one leg to push more weight on, on the down by the pedals, and there was some cracking over there. So I don't know if it's got some ruts. It's got something underneath that carpeting.
Yeah, and I think if you actually got to the point where you would have to get on your back and look underneath there, or have them lift it up, jack it up for you. So, or just slide your phone under there and take pictures. I didn't look at anything. I liked what I saw above. I noticed that the Pininfarina emblems were faded or absolutely missing.
Yeah,
the emblem was missing.
Yeah, there was some over by the front.
Yeah, like for me, for $4,500, I'd want that stuff. And I know that he said these things go for 20,000 in really great shape.
Yeah, with 50,000 miles on it. But even with 50,000 miles, you can pick them up for like 11.
Yeah.
So no.
And you're right. I wouldn't want to insult the guy.
Yeah, but by putting that 2,500, 3,000, because that's a non-running car.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know now. So this is the second Alpha that we went to go look at, and the first one was, I don't know whatever happened to that guy's car, but
the first one is still looking for something. So he can get what he paid for it.
He shouldn't have messed with the car so much, And then you can't even get the stupid thing to turn over with a good battery. I don't know what he's thinking there, but
action. All right. So to recap. What do you want to do? Our little heart to recap.
Yeah.
All right.
I heart you.
No.
Okay.
All right. So to recap on that Alpha that we saw up in Racine. Mm-hmm. So the issues that I had with it was just too much work. Mm-hmm. There was some rust, on the rear passenger side. I didn't think underneath the carpet on the driver's side, I didn't think it was that solid. I tried to stand on it and it was making a lot of noise. It felt like the foot was gonna maybe not go through, but it gave a little bit. It felt to me.
Yeah. So that car was more work than you wanted. I thought personally, it would be a great project car. The guy started it easily. He didn't have to do this and do that and touch this and pull that.
Yeah.
He just got in it, turned the key, and started it. And I was impressed with that. And he said he drove it around the block, but he didn't really say what he did, what he did after that, or why only around the block.
Yeah.
Because it was like, so did you drive it? I said, well, I went around the block. So the way he said it is kind of like, it's not really a driver yet.
Yeah, but it seemed like, when it was running, I was there, back there by that tailpipe, and it seemed to be running a little rich. And then the engine, it was shaking a little bit.
Yeah, it was shaking a little bit, but I don't think those engines, from my past experience with that, I don't think they ever run completely smooth.
Maybe
there's always a little bit.
One.
Yeah.
That was fuel injected, though.
Yeah, it was fuel injected, but they're never going to run perfectly smooth.
No?
Nah, not that old. Plus, the modern gas. Well, either way, the engine ran.
Yeah.
So I think that car is a great project car because everything's there.
Yeah.
Maybe not accurate, like that center console. You're going to have to replace that because it was a blue console in a car with a black dash. That was kind of weird. But everything is there to be ready to be restored. I noticed the Pininfarina emblems were there, but the logo was faded off.
Yeah, there was, and then part of
the front clip was blue underneath the black flat back black paint. Right. And under the hood, everything was beige.
Yeah.
The cowl was beige.
Yeah.
Inside the trunk was beige, but that front clip was blue. So it was probably in an accident. And for me, that's a great project car, but not for $4,500. Yeah. I would take on something like that because it's a runner, and I could fool around with it, maybe around $3,000. But the downside of an Alpha is getting a good price on parts. And it's like, if there were a lot of Alphas around, a lot of them are gone though.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling that you're not going to be able to scour the junkyard or even scour eBay.
There were just too many. The windshield had that issue, and then the top had the issue as well. You thought maybe you could just paint it, but it's like, I don't know. Parts, some parts were missing. It was just not. Yeah, it was just too much. I'd rather spend a couple of grand more and get something that's more. When you run the number and the number says that the car's red, it's red.
So, folks, if you're looking for a project car, remember there's how deep do you want to go? You want a driver, and like what I do with my cars, I drive them, fix them up little by little. I get them to the point where they become dependable. And like with my Pontiacs, the Fieros, I'm done with the mechanicals. I'm working on cosmetics, but it's been a 5-year journey. Or do you want a project where it's all there and maybe so just a paint job?
Yeah, paint job. It's I lean more on the negotiating, right? At some point, you might find somebody that's maybe on the wall or something, with his back against the wall, has to get rid of it, and you get a better deal that way.
Yeah.
Like they always say, when you buy a car, don't go in the middle of the month. Nobody's going to sell it to you. End of the month, end of the season, you'll find something better.
You think that holds true with private sales too?
I think so. I think some of these guys, a lot of these guys, they purchased the car like at the beginning of the season. By the end, they're trying to get rid of it.
Season.
They're trying to get rid of it.
They buy it in the spring, and then they realize, well, I got to put it somewhere. Winter's
where are you
coming.
Going to put it? Yeah.
If I leave it out, they don't want to leave it out in the snow, and then maybe if you wait another month or so.
Right.
But okay, let me ask you this then: what if he goes down to $3,000? Would you still buy that car? That's what I was the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, so that's what I was debating. That's why I didn't want to offer them, because it would have been less than $3,000.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you get that car, it's like it's running. So does that warrant $2,000 more? I don't know. You know, between the dash, between the dash and painting and the windshield and the top and the rust. That's
and how
that's $10,000. That's that's a $10,000 car then.
Yeah, and you'll probably have a
think,
lot of that in there. So you'll probably have almost that much invested too, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, Again, I would take on something like that for around $3,000, and then know that it's for me. It's got to be a 4 or 5 year journey.
Yeah.
To get it to the point where we could say it's presentable. You'd want to spend a little bit more.
Yeah,
than what that guy was asking, but doing having to do a lot less.
A lot less.
So you're looking for a better deal on a well-maintained car.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, I mean, we'll continue. He hasn't found one yet, and he's
we've got a couple more lined up, but we're gonna get one.
Yep.
And then you'll see what what side of the aisle I come from.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see another one, and we'll try to do the same thing with it, and we'll see you next time. I don't know what we're going to talk about next time. Maybe it'll be another Alpha. Maybe we'll talk about something else. So.
Maybe it'll be a Porsche.
Yep. Or maybe it'll be one of my cars.
1.9, or maybe it'll be another Fiero that we want to look at.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao.